These are directions of how to make a symmetrical vase with symmetrical flowers. So you open to a clean sheet of paper in your book, and there's this line here where you could tear it out of the page, tear out of the book, but instead of tearing it out, we are just going to fold our paper. So there's a fold in the middle of our paper. So we just squish it down. So I have a fold that goes from the top to the bottom of my paper, and I can open it back and forth like that. Then we're going to draw a half vase. So your vase can be any shape, but we're only drawing half of it, and I'll show you why. So let's open to your clean page with your fold, and on the right side of your fold you can draw half of a vase. So to do that, you can come out, that's the opening, and back in, and then maybe your vase gets wider as it goes down, and then back to the center. That's a half vase. So what happens is we are going to try to rub this pencil onto the other side of the fold. And we can do that by, we can sort of see where we drew the line through the page. You can see it. And I'm going to use that to guide where I rub with a closed marker or Sharpie. See, my marker is closed. I'm just using it as a rubbing tool. And I'm rubbing on top of the line that I drew. Really hard. And the harder I rub, the more it puts the line and rubs it onto the other side of the page. So now I have a full vase, and I can go ahead and on top of my line just make it a little darker, and I have a perfectly symmetrical vase. So to do a flower, we are going to maybe make a stem first, because flowers grow on stems, and do 2 lines. And if this were a clear vase, you might even be able to see the flower stem going deep down into the vase, and maybe it's kind of cut. Then you get to invent what kind of flower you want to make over here. So I can go like this. Maybe it's kind of like a shape like that. You could make it into a Venus flytrap if you want, or you can make it simple rose and do a little swirl. I bet you know how to make your own flower. You can copy mine, or you can invent your own. And same thing, I look where my line is. I can kind of see through the paper, so I'll know where to rub when I put my Sharpie down. And again, I use the closed Sharpie, and I'm rubbing pretty hard on top of my flower. And make sure I get the stem too. And when I open it back up, you see that it's a reflection. And I noticed that it didn't transfer all of it, so I'm going to go back on top of that part really hard. There. Now I can trace over it. Now something's missing in the middle for me. I'm gonna make a half flower. And I'm gonna make it have a half circle right on the fold and a half petal. And then I'm gonna make it have some more petals. You can make whatever kind of half flower you would like. And then maybe I can see a stem going down in here, a half stem. Let's see what happens. To finish my scene, I can add whatever I want on one side and it will transfer to the other side. So let's say I put it on a table. I can do a curved table or a straight across table. I chose curve. Now I'm going to rub that line with my Sharpie. And it's a symmetrical table. Now we're going to go over our lines with Sharpie. I'm going to use oil pastel to make some designs and colors popping on my paper. So here we go. I'm going to make some designs on the background wall. They could be zigzags, and since I can kind of see through my vase, I'm going to do that. But you may have made a non-see-through vase. To finish, we're going to add watercolor. So I have a little bit of water, my brush, and I'm going to get my watercolors. We're doing what's called a resist. So just get a color that you love, get it nice and wet, and start with that.